Hey, this is Pablo with Lone Star Property Investment Groups, and I wanted to quickly go over what wholesaling is and just to get an understanding of what our company is, and also talk to you a little bit about the data aspect of this in a later video. But for now, let's tackle this first. So, what is wholesaling, right? So, wholesaling in general is when a wholesaler, which is you as a person or an investor, you contract a home with a seller, then later you'll find an actual buyer that's interested in buying it, right? So a quick example would be you're driving through your neighborhood and you're finding, you see a house that looks like this, right? And a lot of times you might ask yourself, well, this house looks pretty distressed. It looks like they don't, give it a lot of love, right? So what you can do is actually you can pull up the property. So go to your appraisal district site. I won't pull up this owner's property, but however, once you find now the name and address of this person, you can reach out to them and you can easily find the phone online through Google, right? And once you go through the process of finding an after repair value, meaning that if this is a property that you're interested in putting under contract, you can actually reach out to the owners and ask if potentially they might be interested in that, right? So what you do is you send them a contract that looks like this, and basically all you're doing is asking if they're interested in your offering, right? Obviously, you would be buying this as this condition, and you're setting up terms such as, we're paying you cash, we're paying for the closing costs, the closing fees, etc. But just the gist of this is, one, finding the property that looks distressed, and the terminology here is it's called driving for dollars. Whenever you're actually driving through your neighborhood and perhaps looking at homes that might look distressed, in which either the owner is no longer interested in fixing it up, etc. Right? So let's quickly go through this flow chart, which is what we currently use, right? So initially, you find the property, you skip trace it, which is the process of finding the owner and the phone number, etc. Right? You call up and you inquire whether they're interested in a cash offer, right? No cash offer, no obligation. You're paying for all the closing costs, etc. Right? So if they are, then you ask about the property condition, you verify the number of restrooms, bedrooms, and if there's any damages, right? A lot of this information you can find through Zillow or Redfin or any other sites if you have access to an MLS. And then you can make an offer. So here with our business, we're breaking it down as our cold callers and our acquisition manager, which is the one that would actually go back and offer the cash offer. Later, we have the transaction coordinators, which works with the title companies to make sure the title is clean, and the inspector, which is going to take the pictures, etc. And we also have a marketing and promotion, which posts our deals in other websites where our investors will be going through the list of properties that we have under contract that we're selling, right? So let's quickly go back here. So once the cold caller makes the call and they collect the information, right? Later, our acquisition manager will go ahead and collect, analyze the information given, and they create the after repair value, which is how much is the house worth after someone at Flipper or us, we remodel it, right? At that point, we can calculate how much it would be worth, right? So based out of that, and also estimating how much repairs are needed based on the information that was given to us earlier. So at this point, reach out to the seller, and we're asked, if they're interested in that particular amount that we're offering, right? And if they are, then we send them a contract like the one I showed you earlier here, and this is going to state, the actual property name, how much we're offering, things like, we need to close this in the next 14 to 30 days. And things such as inspections, allowing us to actually go and inspect the property ourselves, and that's going to allow us to determine a more accurate after repair value, right? So during this time, if the contract is signed by the seller, our transaction coordinator goes and reaches out to the title company to ensure there's no liens on the property and that the title belongs to that. And at the same time, some of our staff will go and inspect the actual property, take pictures, look at, send videos, etc. Right? So on the transaction coordinators, making sure the title companies is clean, the title. And then once the inspector takes a look at it, again, we go back and recalculate the after repair value to produce a more accurate number. And at this point, we have the images, we have a good determination of how much the property might be worth after repair. And we estimate about a 30% profit for the investor that we're actually going to reassign the contract to, right? So at this point, we're putting our deals on our website or on Facebook Marketplace or other ones, and we're finding a buyer that is interested in this deal. And again, they're reviewing the pictures, etc., and what we're going for sale, right? And then if the buyer is interested, then we reassign the contract to them. And at the end of the day, both the seller gets the initial cash offer that they were looking for, and the buyer pays the amount that we gave them, right? So in this example, let's say we offer the seller $100,000, but we ask from the buyer, from the investor, $110,000 or $115,000, right? So at the point of closing at the title company, the seller gets $100,000 and the buyer pays $115,000 or $110,000, and for our company we make $10,000 to $15,000 for the whole process of finding it and calculating things and just bringing a deal to the potential investor or buyer. Or if we think this is a good deal, we can actually buy ourselves for cash and then flip it later or put it for rental. So that's a quick, not so quick way of going about this, but this is the process of wholesaling. So if you're interested, send us, ask any questions, and thank you for watching.